I'm here with Dr. Adil Alzarooni, CEO of Alzarooni Emirates Investments. Dr. Adil, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You have a really interesting concept around oxygen points. Talk to me about what this means.
I just wanted to take away some of the misconceptions about family businesses being shrinking globally and losing power, basically, to actually substantiate the fact that the opposite is true. And that is statistically the case. So, for example, number of Fortune 500 companies that are family-owned is on the rise. We're talking about, 10 years ago, it was in the mid-teens. Now it's in the mid-20s. And it is envisioned that within the next decade or two, it will exceed 40% of the Fortune 500 companies. And that's a lot driven by the fact that family businesses are usually more long horizon when it comes to investments. So they have a breadth into seeing into the future. They have more loyal staff, less hierarchy, faster decision making, having financial returns being equally important to other social cases or social objectives, being supportive to the communities they serve, being supportive to the governments they function with, and hence are being the driving force of a lot of economies globally. So I just wanted to take away the misconceptions and this stigma and the statements that roam around negatively painting family businesses.
How do family offices find their oxygen points? What data do you advise that they look for?
So first of all, when family offices look at themselves and try to find their oxygen, they usually would need to look at the family itself. Does it share a vision? Do they have the same objective? Are they communicating well? They will need to look at the businesses. Are they still carrying luggage from legacy? Is it fundamentally sound? Is it properly governed? Is it a business per se? And they would usually also look at the context where they function within. Their relationship with the government, they work with, their relationship with the financial market, proper governance again, their social capital, their human capital, and the legal environment they function within. All of these aspects and variables play a substantial role to the benefit of families if they tick the right boxes, if I may say. So yes, this is how a family would try to strengthen itself by considering all of these variables to their benefit.
We also have a convergence of forces happening globally as well. What do we need to know about the fourth industrial revolution and the Great Reset to make strategic choices that capitalize on the opportunities and protect the legacy of family offices?
I mean, first of all, we all understand the power of digitization and getting into a more decentralized world, a more democratic systems and across different sectors of economy. We all understand that, and hence families have to keep up with the change. Not only families, that is true to any business, but with family businesses, that means they need to, because in their nature, they tend to be entrepreneurial. I mean, family businesses usually starts with an entrepreneur. So they are entrepreneurial in nature. They tend to want to think long term, and hence they are happy to support startups in those fields, happy to invest in them so that they can keep up with an ever-changing world. They keep up with a decentralized world, a world that is highly diversified. It's basically a small village now. Anything that happens anywhere in the world affects you within your economy, within your society, and so on. So family businesses are geared to leverage off that, and hence again ticking the boxes and making sure that they don't miss on the fourth industrial revolution we are living in.
Speaking of how we're all interconnected, do you advise your family offices to have certain currency diversification in order to maintain a stable portfolio during unstable economic times?
I'm not a big player in currency diversification. It's very opportunistic the way I see it. I mean, underlying any currency, there need to be the fundamentals. And it's usually not in the form of currency diversification per se, unless you are talking about a specific corporate with its own transactional needs. So I'm talking about a portfolio, a proper portfolio management for a family. It goes with the investments themselves into different asset classes that usually, if you do proper diversification globally, it will do naturally a cross-currency diversification. So I mean, I'm for example invested across different geographies, and those are, yeah. So in the U.S., parts of Europe, parts of Asia, and locally, and with that comes natural diversification of currencies. But the underlying assets are ideally fundamentally solid, and hence comes the natural diversification. But to play a pure currency diversification beyond the need of a cash flow management for a specific company, I'm not a big fan of, let me put it that way.
You advise family offices to create a vision. What components need to be in place for a strong family vision?
I think it starts with what the family themselves as individuals see in the business. Do they share a common objective? Do they all want that pocket of wealth to stay together, to represent them as a brand, as a family, to be there to support them and their lifestyle and future generation, to be there to support their society, the society they serve, to be there to support the economies they serve within? If that is the starting point, then yes, a vision is important to reflect that. And then it can propagate into the businesses and down from there to the different stakeholders within any business. So yes, a well-crafted, truly reflective of a family belief system, and that goes beyond religion, belief system in their role in economy and society. If it actually reflects that, it's a very strong statement, and brings with it a lot of branding that reflects down the line to the different stakeholders of a business, calling it customers, government agencies, other support functions like financial services, and human capital.
Dr. Adil, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for receiving me. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.